The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the producers and the individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff of the Sun Prairie Media Center, its members or underwriters, the board members of the Media Center Commission, Charter Communications, TDS Telecom, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Hello and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jamison Rabbit, and the man seated next to me is the master of modern dance. His name is Mike Roth.
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'm actually beyond modern.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm alpha modern.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's you won't get it, but you will. In
Yeah,
10 years. 10 years, you'll be seeing my stuff, and you'll be like, he was so ahead
of his time, that Mike Roth. We all know that.
I am so darn good. And modest.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the hallmark of it.
People are lucky to know me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. So this week we have 3 movies on the marquee, as well as a fun throwback that I can't wait to get to.
Is it really?
Hold that thought. We'll get to it shortly. The first movie I'm going to start us off with on the marquee, though, is the newest movie from A24. It is a film called 8th Grade from writer-director Bo Burnham. It stars Elsie Fisher as a 8th grade girl named Kayla. Kayla is, well, she's shy around people, and her way of expressing herself is through a video blog that she does, where she kind of gives life tips to people, and it kind of acts as therapy for her. And a lot of the life tips she's giving to kids are things that she needs to address. You know, she's like, hey guys, here's what happens if you feel awkward around people. Here's what you should do. She needs to follow her own advice. But anyways, she kind of faces a lot of the problems that kids at that age have always faced. Mm-hmm. You know, especially shy kids. And the movie really focuses on the awkwardness of kids at that age. You know, 8th grade age. Oh, things are swirling, hormones are changing.
I can't think of a worse grade.
It's
really
the worst. And
yeah.
I have a kid that's going through it right now. And, you know, there's the awkwardness of being that age. Then there's the awkwardness of being a parent of a kid that age. Because you, as a parent, are trying to find a way to communicate and connect and without being super lame. You know, there's that awkwardness of the dad, her dad, played by Josh Hamilton, who just wants to find out about her life. And all she cares about is everything other than talking to her dad about real life. Yeah. And you want to connect. And even for other adults, teachers, principals in this movie, that are just trying to get the kids to be excited about something, and it's just like, you're lame. I'm sorry, don't try and be cool with us, you know? Mm-hmm. There's so much going on in this movie, like even little things that I hear at my house all the time because I have a kid this age, like an adult's talking, you just hear some kid in the back yell, LeBron James. Like, yeah, I hear that at my house for no reason. And it's just the fact, you know, at this age, Kayla especially, but it happens for a lot of kids, will say and do anything to fit in, to not be the awkward kid. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what, and sometimes it's not great things that you're willing to do just to not stand out as the weirdo. And so Kayla kind of does some things that she's not super proud of, but she just kind of wants to fit in. There's this cringiness in this movie. Like, it's tough to watch at some points because it is like, oh, I'm embarrassed for everyone. Because it's very real portrayals. Yeah. A lot of the people in here, especially the kids, it feels authentic.
Well, 8th grade is a very hard transformation. You go from that kid that's like, oh, I want to do everything the parents do, and play is so fun, and now you're getting older and you become super self-aware.
It's not cool to hang out with mom and dad.
No, but it's not cool to do all the things you love either. I just spent 8th grade. I think I just stopped talking.
Yeah. That's probably for the best.
I'm catching up.
Well, and then there's the thing of, you know, really each day kind of carries a new mountain that you have to climb. Like every little issue, you know, so-and-so said something to me, you know, she's not my friend anymore. And every day's battles are the biggest things in the world. And it's tough as a parent, and as Bo Burnham kind of addressed as the filmmaker, to not poo-poo that and be like, your problems, come on, my problems are bigger, I'm an adult. Yeah. But to realize, like, yes, for every kid in the history. And for eternity, that's the way it is, because you think that your problems are the biggest things in the world.
Yeah.
And so, and I like that Bo Burnham addressed it like that. He didn't poo-poo it like, these dumb kids.
Yeah.
But it was like, look at them, we've all been there. We've all had to maneuver the perils of 8th grade and the horrible awkwardness, even for the kids that you think are the coolest. They don't have any problems. They all do.
Yeah.
They all do. So there's some hard moments in this movie. One of my issues with this, though, is that there's some things that are addressed, some things where she's kind of coerced into doing things that she doesn't want to do, and those are addressed, and then they're just kind of left. And you never really find out what happened with that. That was kind of frustrating to me. There were a couple of moments where she was kind of coerced by boys into things and realized it was wrong, but then there was nothing ever said about it. Like, I want more of a message from that.
Yeah.
For my daughter who will watch this movie someday, to realize that. But all in all, it was good. It was a well done movie. It felt real. And so that's good. So 8th grade, I gave it 4 stars.
That sounds like an excellent
movie. It's an A24 movie.
Yeah. Why should I even say anything different?
Right.
A24 rocks.
Speaking of great movies, teaching your kids lessons, what do you have?
All right. Well, we have the third Hotel Transylvania, starring Adam Sandler as Dracula. This is Hotel Transylvania ... summer vacation. Not going to say it.
Colon.
I'm not going to say it. What we have is Dracula. He's busy. He loves his life, but you know what? He's a little lonely. His wife has died a long time ago, and he's starting to think that maybe what he needs to do is date a little bit. Marvis, his daughter, or Mavis, his daughter, she sees that he's stressed and stuff and doesn't really think that he needs to date. She goes, well, you know what? He really needs a vacation. Let's stop working. Let's have a family vacation. All the friends and stuff. Let's go out on a luxury monster cruise.
Where?
To the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, perfect.
That's where monsters go. All monsters go there. Along with all of Drax's wacky friends, which a lot of them are his real friends in real life.
Oh, yeah. This is like
Adam Sandler's real friend.
Like the grown-ups movies, only we don't have to even put on clothes to do it.
And they go on this cruise. Little do they know that this is all a setup by Van Helsing.
Ooh.
Well, he's a little old and mostly robotic, but his great-granddaughter, she's the, what's her name? Erica.
Erica, the cruise director.
Erica, cruise director. She's the new monster killer. Dracula kind of falls in love, and then more story happens. There's a lot of dance montages, a lot of music that comes
Release
out.
the Kraken!
A lot of corny Adam Sandler humor.
Sure,
if you love it, great.
All the stuff that's par for this franchise.
Yeah. I'm not really seeing anything new with this franchise. I really didn't love the first one. I liked Adam Sandler's earlier stuff, but his humor now it's grating for me. It really is.
I think this is the best use of him, though, because his humor has always been aimed towards children.
Yeah.
Whether he liked it, whether he realized it or not, it's best served in this capacity rather than making movies for me.
True.
I think it's. You can tell that these guys they're enjoying getting a paycheck to all get together and do this.
Yeah.
You have the eternal battle between Dracula and Van Helsing. One of the bits I liked in this movie was the Gremlin Air, the plane that they took.
Okay.
Run by gremlins. I thought that was actually probably the best part of the movie. The funniest part of the movie was watching the gremlins destroy this plane and just in full gremlin out on this thing.
A lot of this movie, I kept on looking at the little bits and skits and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what? This feels really safe. This feels like I've seen this stuff before, or it's expected out of this movie.
Yeah.
Of course, I hear a lot of the same jokes that I hear all the time. Oh, I'm an old man. I don't understand technology. And they just rehash everything over
There's
and over
no
again.
new ground being broken with Hotel Transylvania 3.
And just throw in a dance montage
Yeah.
quite frequently.
Bring it.
I don't. Why?
My
Why?
daughter was
Tell
literally
me a story.
my daughter was literally dancing in the aisle when
Well,
it
that
came
is
along.
awesome and that is cute.
I mean,
I did not have a child entertaining me besides the movie. I had to rely on the movie.
Here's my thing with these Hotel Transylvania movies. These movies, I actually like the characters. I think they're fun.
Yeah.
Bringing all of the monsters together and giving them
Yeah.
these personalities. And I actually really like the first one. I remember giving it a good score. I can give the second one a decent score. I like these characters. The problem is this movie, they didn't use most of the characters. It was mostly Mavis, Drac, and Erica.
Yeah.
And the characters, like my favorite character, Wayne, played by Steve Buscemi, the werewolf, he's written out of the movie. The entire movie. At the end, they come back like, where were you? Oh, we got locked up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
I'm going, where'd he go?
He had little skits
Dropped
throughout the whole.
Well, he dropped the kids off at the
Yeah.
daycare, and then he checked out of the movie. And I was like, well, that's kind of lame. So a lot of the characters were just kind of pushed to the background for the Van Helsing story, and that was kind of frustrating me. I was like, I kind of like them. I thought there were just enough laughs to keep me entertained, but just barely. Like, just barely from being really bad. These movies they're not great.
No.
I think they're fun enough.
I think you had an extra benefit.
It always helps.
Company.
It always helps taking the kids to the movie. Because I'm not the audience, and you're not the audience for this movie.
To me, when I have a good audience, it really heightens the movie a lot.
Yeah.
I could not get into this. I was not laughing.
That's totally
I was
understandable.
rolling my eyes.
That is completely understandable. What did you end up giving Hotel Transylvania 3?
I give it a 2. There's some merit out there. I'm just not enjoying it.
Yeah. I gave it 3. I think I gave the previous one 3. I gave the one before the first one 3.5. Like, they're all the same movie basically.
Yeah.
They're just above average for me.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked
It's
it.
something. It's not movies that I would go back to, but
Now,
they're fun while I'm watching them.
to a better movie.
Speaking of masterpieces, the final movie you have on the marquee is the new movie from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Skyscraper, from director Rawson Marsh Thurber, who has written some written and directed great comedies like Dodgeball, Central Intelligence, We're the Millers. He takes his stab at his first action movie, though, and gets action superstar Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He opens the movie. He's a man named Will Sawyer who gets blown up as a part of a tactical unit and has to restart his life as a security specialist who is missing a leg. His wife, played by Neve Campbell, is along with him and his family as he goes to this skyscraper, the most palatial skyscraper anywhere, run by Zhao Longji. And he basically just has to give it the okay. Run over the schematics, make sure that this skyscraper is going to be secure and safe. It's high tech. It's a world unto itself in this place. You've got just everything in the world here, palatial. It's called the Pearl. And little does he know that he has been set up. Well, we find out minutes into the movie, it feels like, that his partner, his best friend, has set him up. Something is afoot. No pun intended.
But you could tell the entire time. They just looked
shifty. You knew immediately.
All the time.
His partner was setting him up over a tablet. This tablet is a secure tablet which controls everything within the Pearl. It is run off facial recognition software specifically for Dwayne's face. Right? So it should be the safest thing in the world. Meanwhile, you have this villain, Kors Botha, and his nameless, faceless thugs, who are after this tablet as well as a microchip or whatever standard thing you need to get. They set the Pearl on fire. And unfortunately, Will Sawyer's family is in there. The bad guys take control of the building remotely, and they're trying to just flush him out, like chase him down. A lot of the stuff happens in this movie with no explanation.
No, you don't find out what's going on until way close.
And there's so many tropes in this movie. Like, I was writing them down before they happened. Like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And 15 minutes later, it would. You have the classic, it's offline. I have to pull a lever or push a button or something manually. So I've got to go climb through something to pull this lever to get it all. We've seen that in every movie.
Oh, yeah.
You also have the if there's a pipe labeled hot steam, someone's getting hit in the face with hot steam. right? If you tie a rope to something to anchor yourself down, you know that something is going to break or bend and cause a rough situation for you. All of these tropes.
There's another one. If you have information that can totally take down an organization, it's always going to be on one little thing that you could carry it around everywhere.
Carry it everywhere you go.
And if it gets smashed, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's all I got to do. This movie was also seemingly sponsored by duct tape because we find out multiple times The Rock is asking for duct tape. He turns himself into a duct tape Spider-Man. Where he's literally climbing the outside of a wall with duct tape on his hands. I didn't know that was a thing, especially for a 280-pound man.
And that was like one of the few things that I thought was kind of
about
this movie was the how many references to duct tape and uses of duct tape.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything else about this movie was predictable.
Very.
And done before. And kind of boring.
Very boring. And there is zero believable chemistry between he and Neve Campbell as a husband and wife.
No.
None. Like, man, she does not act like someone who cares if her husband is going to live or die.
Well, she
it's like,
probably
that's
read
my
the
husband
script.
up there. It could be. I'm sorry. I don't know. Here's something else. There's this security tablet, right? It's all, the first half of the movie is built around this tablet.
Yeah.
Got to get it. And it's shown right away that, like, hold it up. Okay, it reads The Rock's face. Now it's secure. Only you can use it. Except for anyone who picks it up can use the tablet, we find out. Literally any bad guy, anyone who picks up the tablet can use it, despite this high-tech security feature on it. Like, what? Put a passcode on it, like your phone, anything. Because literally, if you put a passcode on that tablet, all the events of this movie don't happen. Because they can't control the tower. It's
there we
ridiculous.
go. You just ruined it.
Why introduce the fact that, like, now only you can use it, and then, like, any faceless, nameless bad guy picks it up, is like, I just shut down all the fire systems. It's so stupid.
Now, this whole movie is ruined for me. It was going to be a 5-star, but now it dropped tremendously.
Did you notice that the final line of this movie was the same line as San Andreas?
Oh, you know.
And he's like, what do we do now? We rebuild. The exact same line of dialogue.
Well, that was one of the reasons why I was looking forward to this movie.
We wanted San Andreas.
I wanted to see San Andreas. I saw The Rock. He's doing an action film that I thought was going to be fun, and there's going to be a lot of stupid stuff, but it's going to be a fun, stupid movie, and I'm going to enjoy it. But everything was in the dark. Everything that was supposed to be wild and new, I just thought was kind of boring. Like this, like the Pearl. They were like, "Oh, this is going to be the world's main destination. Everybody's going to come to see a bunch of TV screens that pop out of the ground." Why? Why would they want to see that?
Yeah, I mean, it had an Enter the Dragon finale.
Yeah.
A mirror room, basically.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that bother me with this. First off, even in the posters, they are half of the advertising campaign is comparing this to Die Hard. They have the poster that is identical to the Die Hard poster with The Rock, half his face, the tower on fire next to him, just like Bruce Willis in Nakatomi Plaza. Why compare yourself to Die Hard? Why make that marketing decision other than to maybe draw people in? But you're never going to live up to Die Hard.
No, I could see they were trying to copy Die Hard really hard. There was the going on the outside of the building scenes. You had this, menacing man with nameless minions on the side of him. It was a very much, and there's duct tape in Die Hard.
But the thing it was missing was a credible villain.
Yeah.
Hans Gruber is a villain that everyone knows. The villains were just kind of there, just guys.
And
like, some European guys. The bad guy, I guess.
And you know what Hans Gruber was why he was doing things pretty much right away. You don't really find out why these guys are doing anything until the third act.
Right. It's weird. I do like how they used his lost limb.
Yep.
I like that it made him slightly mortal. He's still a superhero in this movie.
But he's the best hopper in the whole world.
Yeah, he's doing things on one leg. Like, okay. But I do like how it was used, and I thought that it looked good, and it gave him at least something to his character.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. There's not a lot of handicapped superheroes in the world.
Yeah.
So I kind of dug that. Unfortunately, the rest of the movie was, like you say, it was boring. It was tropey. We've seen it better in many other movies.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, The Rock has made a series. He puts out a ton of movies every year. And his hit rate is coming down and down and down for me. Like, it used to be rock movies were good.
Yeah.
And now it's like, last year he put out 3 or 4. I only liked 1. I like Jumanji.
Yeah, Jumanji was good.
This year, I don't like Rampage.
No.
And I don't like this one either. Like, maybe choose quality over quantity. Maybe instead of putting 5 out a year and 2 of them are good, maybe you just lower it down a little bit.
Yeah, I think he needs to stick to comedies.
He's good in comedy.
He's really good. He has a great
I laughed a
feel.
few times in this movie.
And this really should have worked with the director that we had.
Yeah.
He makes good comedies. With The Rock, he could have made something really special.
Yeah.
An action comedy, it couldn't have gone wrong. But this one...
What'd you end up giving Skyscraper?
2. It was a 2. I was lying about the 5-star.
Yeah, I agree with you. I gave it 2 stars as well. Yeah, not good. You don't need to see this.
Talking about not good.
It's talking about not good. Let's talk about our movie throwbacks, sir, because we're talking about Hotel Transylvania, monsters. It just so happens that Van Helsing appears in that movie as a main villain.
Action. We want action.
Yeah.
Over the top action.
Let's do it. What are we talking about?
We're talking about Van Helsing, 2004 version with Hugh Jackman. He plays, of course, Van Helsing, and he goes up against all the Universal monsters.
Yes.
In a world that is physically impossible on many, many levels. You're going to see action scenes like someone getting smashed in the face, thrown across the room, through a window, onto the ground. They do a somersault, and their hair is still perfect. This movie, I don't think I remember liking it very much, but I couldn't figure out why I couldn't like this movie. You had vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein, action, Hugh Jackman being...
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, this should have been great. And then you watch it again, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is worse than I remembered. This was never a good movie, ever. They have the stupidest thing. You got, like, Count Dracula. Almost crying, being really melodramatic about not having any emotions. It's like, well, simmer down, man. Simmer down. If you are that hollow, why are you so angry and crying all the time?
It's shocking how bad the effects are, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't remember. I remember thinking it was like, that was okay. Like, horrible dialogue.
Yeah.
That carries through. Yeah, still horrible dialogue. But I remember thinking like, oh, but it looked cool. And it reminds me of another movie. It came out around this time that I revisited recently that I remember thinking, hey, it looked cool. And that was Sky Captain of the World Tomorrow.
Okay.
And I rewatched that recently. That didn't hold up either. Suddenly I'm like, oh, those visuals are cheesy.
I barely remember that one. That was completely CG, wasn't it? Yep.
Yeah. And this one just has horrendous effects. And just, it's a mess.
Yeah.
The whole story is a mess.
You could tell they wanted a steampunk feel.
Yes.
Which I really appreciate.
Right?
But
didn't know how to do it.
No.
Or how to set that universe to make it work.
No.
They're just like, we'll add in this kind of steampunk feel, but not really. And just not really give anyone motivations that make sense. And Van Helsing's just going to be cool. We got Wolverine, guys.
And
Let's make it happen.
Hugh Jackman was the only character that wasn't over the top dramatic.
Yeah,
Frankenstein
but that wig was
woo. I mean, yeah, you're trying to do the creature, the original Mary Shelley's, where he could talk and he has emotion and stuff like that. But it was tiring listening to these guys have so much emotion all the time.
Right? That was it. I mean, just embarrassing dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. That was one of my notes I wrote down. Like, this dialogue is embarrassing.
Yeah. They should be all ashamed.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's frustrating. Stephen Sommers directed this. Even guys I like David Wenham is in this as Carl the monk.
Yeah.
I like David Wenham a lot in a lot of his movies. And this, I was just like, what are you doing in this, man? What is going on? I'm sad to report that Van Helsing is no good.
No. Terrible.
Frustrating.
Worse than I thought it was. Because when I mentioned it last week, I was like, you know what? Maybe I just need to give it one more shot.
No. No more shots with this one. No more shots.
There's a couple of movies that I keep on revisiting thinking, oh, I'm going to like
I just
this.
wasn't in the right mood when I saw it last.
And every time I rewatch them, I'm like, nope.
So this actually got me to thinking. We have a couple minutes. Got me to thinking the way that Van Helsing bombed. Universal has been, since Van Helsing, I mean, this is their first try to really build this universe. We're going to bring all our monsters together, and we're going to expand on this. And this came out in 2004. 2008, you had The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, that final Mummy movie that nobody saw.
Yeah.
So their Mummy franchise sputtered out finally. 2010, they put out Benicio del Toro was in The Wolfman. That movie was awful.
That was terrible, yeah.
Awful. 2014, we had Dracula Untold.
That
wasn't good either. They're like, okay, and now we're trying to build this dark universe, right? So now we'll get Tom Cruise. We'll make a mummy movie. We'll put Jekyll and Hyde in it. With Russell Crowe. This is how we're going to launch everything. That might have been the worst of them all.
There was one that I know that we both kind of liked, and that was the one about Dr. Frankenstein.
But that was not a Universal movie.
It wasn't?
Victor Frankenstein was not part of the Universal franchise. That's on its own.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I thought
it frustrates me. I'm looking at it like, why can't this work? Universal really keeps trying and wants to make this work.
Yeah.
Keeps failing. 2019 we were supposed to be getting Bride of Frankenstein. That was canceled. After the bombing of the last Mummy movie, they're like, okay, we're not doing this. Now, there's kind of hints that just a couple months ago, now they're talking about maybe restarting this dark universe again, calling it something different. We also had Johnny Depp signed on as the Invisible Man. And like, well, maybe we'll try it again. I mean, it's failed 6 other times. Why not try it again?
Well, the problem I think they're having is it's not about the big-name actors. You need good writers, really good writers. And that's what they had way back when they first did they were fantastic stories.
When it didn't rely on effects, it didn't rely on big names.
No.
Boris Karloff was everybody.
Yeah.
But now, you made it interesting.
Yeah, and now they're just fully relying on heavy CG and over-the-top special effects and action, and that works, but you have to make it fun, and these things are not fun.
It feels like Universal is the only company that cannot figure out how to put together a shared universe.
Yeah.
Everyone else is doing it with all their franchises.
Well, DC's not doing all
Well, I
stuff.
mean, they keep making money at least.
Yeah,
They keep
at
it going.
least.
They're keeping the lights on.
Yeah.
Universal is just scrapping it over and over again. It's ridiculous. Who knows where we're going to go from here?
I have a feeling all the producers are just like, we didn't bring it over the top enough. We got to bring it more over the top.
Bigger. Good grief. All right, well, we'll see. We'll keep following this dark universe. See if they ever give up. Let's take a look ahead, sir, what is coming soon. The weekend of July 27th, we have 3 movies on the marquee. The first one is Mission Impossible Fallout, the 6th Mission Impossible movie. It's getting great reviews if you listen to anyone. I try and shy away, but I'm hearing good things about it.
I have not been listening to anybody about this.
Yeah, one of my favorite filmmakers said it was great, so we'll see. Yeah, the guy
Alfred
who did
Hitchcock?
Brett Haley, who did Hearts Beat Loud, said it was great, so we'll see. We also have Teen Titans Go to the movies. The Teen Titans Go franchise. Movie. Yeah. It looks fun. My daughter's actually really excited about it.
I like Teen Titans.
Yeah. And lastly, we have Hot Summer Nights, starring Timothée Chalamet, who was in Call Me By Your Name last year, the young man. Oh, this is a coming-of-age drama where over a summer he falls in love and learns a little bit about himself. It's basically the same. It sounds like the same plot as Call Me By Your Name. He discovers himself over the summer as a young man.
So it's a lot like Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh, I hope so. I know somebody who that's their favorite movie. Katrina, you're the best. Anyways, let's take this moment quickly to thank our sponsor, of course. Speaking of our friend Katrina, The Palace here in Sun Prairie. Marcus Theaters, thank you for sponsoring the show. And thank you, I'm wearing this shirt here for Sun Prairie Strong. This week, The Palace here in Sun Prairie sponsored a night where half of the popcorn money got donated to the Sun Prairie Strong relief efforts. That was really awesome to see. It was a full house.
Yeah.
I was there. It was really cool. I bought more popcorn than I needed. But thank you for sponsoring, and thank you more importantly for supporting Sun Prairie in this time.
And if you don't know what's going on, look it up.
Yeah,
really.
look up.
It's a huge
look up this
thing.
hashtag. You'll see. But yeah, it's great seeing how they came together with the community. If you want to find more from us, you can find us online anytime by going to Facebook. You can find us there by searching Real Reviews TV. You can also find us on Twitter at Real Reviews TV. You can find us, you know what? You can listen to us on 103.5 The Sun if you're right here in town. You can also see us in a bunch of previous episodes, like 220 previous episodes. If you go to sunprairiemediacenter.com, there's an on-demand player for all these things. Look at us on YouTube if you want. I know, Mike, you're always on YouTube tapping around. Look up Real Reviews, KSUN.
We should figure out a clever acronym for all the places you can find us.
Wouldn't that be awesome? It would save me a lot of time.
It would.
But yeah, you can find all of our previous episodes in all of those places. Next week, we're going to be talking about The Equalizer 2. We're going to be talking about Mamma Mia, Here I Go Again. We also have Sorry to Bother You, as well as what is sure to be a fun throwback movie. But until that time, I'm Jamison.
I'm Mike Roth.
Have a good one.